It's flopped.
Is it?
Should be. Yeah, there you go.
Yep, there you go. Man, look at you. Look at you. Always on top of your game.
It's automated that part.
I know it is.
Oh, okay, I was gonna say like that one I don't do.
So a lot of people are going to ask this, but what is it? Pit stop is definitely needed.
I heard 2.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh shit.
I would take a look at the EU results if I were you.
Fuck. Well, we're gonna find out one of these days. Might as well be now. I love seeing Shrek just fucking biting his lip on my goddamn screen.
That's how you gotta do it, you know?
RP, app not active.
Swamp.
Gotta do it for the swamp.
Mmm. The swamp.
Man, it is roasty toasty in my house today.
I can imagine. It's hot as shit down here. I wonder what it was like up there.
Yeah, it was good 90s, that's for sure.
Yeah, it's roasty toasty, all right.
Roasty toasty magosty.
Guys.
What's up, Seth?
Oh, fuck, I gotta restart. I forgot. I left my sound be playing through the speaker.
I always have trouble centering my wheels.
Centering your wheel?
Like with my monitor. So it doesn't look weird.
Oh, okay. I know how it is. My ultra wide doesn't ever actually stay completely centered.
Well, like the front of my desk is kind of like curved in. So like it's kind of weird to lock it on.
A slight angle.
RP, app not active. RP, app not active.
It's an hour tonight, not 45. All right.
Yeah,
Yep.
25-minute practice, 25-minute qual.
Holy
1
crap.
hour
Are you
race.
skipping tonight or something?
Qualifying?
Huh?
25-minute qualifying?
It's an hour race. Your
Yeah.
position up front's gonna matter.
Oh no.
Why haven't set up for Silverstone? Like, did we ever do Silverstone?
With MX5s, I don't think so. Maybe like the actual Silverstone, but don't forget this is like a modded track.
Yeah.
So it won't show your loadouts for regular Silverstone.
I know. I think it might, because it looks like this just mods the Kunos track to add more pits.
Yeah, but I think it saves as a different file name. That's why I think your loadout will show for as a different one, because it assumes you're on a different layout of the track.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I think we are gonna have a stream for the rookie race as well too. I just found out. So
An hour race is wild.
it's an hour finale
that
for
produces
GT3
some of the
as
best
well.
stuff, dude.
Yeah, especially let's see if they did end up having to do 2 pits, because that was a rumor.
I'll just take it easy then.
Let's see, where is
Because a lot of people can just spin out.
Yeah, you definitely want to be leaving as much space as possible, but
Yeah.
you want to push as well.
It's Silverstone though. There's a lot of room to push and make mistakes.
RP, app not active.
Okay, can't do that flat out.
Interesting.
Yeah, it looks like people pit twice, from what I can tell.
Well, it feels so slow, and I'm not like a Formula car.
I know, right? Just like bumbling
Yep.
around.
All right, yeah, I can confirm. I just looked over the race results, so it was 2 pits for the EU boys.
Oh boy.
So you can't just do a one like a no stop.
None of them seemed to have been able to, from what I can tell.
How
However,
many laps
everyone
would it
drives
be?
different. They did 25, including the 2 pit stops, obviously.
I feel like you would have enough fuel.
Its fuel percentage is different.
Oh, did you change
He
it?
increased it, yeah.
You,
Okay.
there was a whole announcement about this stuff a while ago.
Whoops.
Such a long track too. That one, like the S's in the straight is going to be so funny to watch all you guys come down. Like trading positions 3 times with drafting.
Oh my god, I haven't even thought about that. That's gonna be an interesting corner.
Damn, dude, the tire drop off is wild too.
Oh, I just realized I'm already really low on tires. I'm really bad too at maggots and packets.
If like an actual lap is like high 220s, low 230s, I'm gonna need like some serious concentration for qualifying.
That's why it's 25 minutes to qualify and give everybody a lot of chances. Because I know it gets a little frustrating.
Yeah, but it's also like such a long time to mess it up because I know that's exactly what I'm gonna do the first 2 runs. Track limits, track limits.
Yeah, like I think it was Sent who was asking earlier, like how it could be 4 seconds different. Like there's just so many different like corners and little bits and like turns to it, and with such a slow car, you can feel the difference in each of the lines way, way more than with like a Formula One car or something.
Yeah.
Well, I just don't know where I'm losing my 4 seconds.
It's the beautiful part of having practice in 25 minutes of quali.
Sometimes that 4 seconds is the friends we made along the way.
Exactly.
I'm pretty sure it's all in maggots and packets where I'm losing time.
Oh shit, I lost a ton in cops.
Like, I don't know how people can full throttle that without losing the rear end.
Ah, damn it, I was up like 3 seconds. Dude, that's wild. I've done like freaking 2.5 laps. I'm already down to 3/4 from full.
My tires are already worn pretty good.
Yeah, I think tire percentages have changed too. So you'll have to change tires at least once.
Yeah, they were 185 last I checked.
Yeah.
Mine are already at 90%.
Mine are. Yeah. No, actually, my lefts are on 87.
I just struggle with getting on the throttle.
Don't be ashamed to put on that traction control, dude.
You guys are running without it? Bummer.
I'm running with it. I've like always ran with it.
Yeah, it makes life, I mean, a little easier, I think.
Yeah, I have it usually on most of the cars. It depends on the cars, but like GTs and stuff like that, I always have it on if it's on there.
Yeah, but for the MX5, you kind of want the tires to spin.
It depends. Like some parts of the track, yes, but you gotta look at the overall, like majority of it.
Dude, I'll tell you what, Dan is going fucking wild.
Oh, yeah, I think I found one too. Oh, jeez. What was that?
Magic.
Yeah, I might try with the traction control on. Just for a few laps.
Oh boy. I should have practiced earlier. Haven't done a single lap.
Jeez,
That'll be rough.
30 liters is estimated for 8 laps.
We're doing 25 laps, you said?
Yeah.
Oh, did not just quit the game.
Oh god, I wasn't paying attention. So essentially we're gonna want like 35, 35, 35.
Well, I haven't done many
That's the
laps.
thing with
to
the
be
two
honest.
stop. There's some serious pit strategy to consider here. You know, someone can pull off an undercut with a double pit strategy and things like that.
RP, app not active.
No. Do you do one short pit and only change your tires once? Do you change your tires both times? Lot to consider.
That is true.
What the sigma?
All right, so I muted the myself in the Discord. There, we'll still be able to hear them. They won't be able to hear us, but let's take a little peek in at what the grid is up to. We saw a couple people in some 25s at one point during the open practices. So I'm definitely curious to see if anyone can get back to that. I've got Dan and Oh Yeah rocking the 24 cars together. Dan seems to have the
Anyone else
edge
has
on
with
Oh
it?
Yeah so far in
Yeah,
practice.
man.
Dan's current time actually beating even Oya's earlier looping practice, but I don't recall as far as the
Oh wow, holy
one
shit! I
prior to
lowered
the
the
EU
fucking
event.
camber just to see like how much faster I could get in terms of like straight line speed. That was unnecessary.
The one thing to watch there that is
I
Sen,
don't
it
know. I
looks
haven't
like.
gotten to straight to really compare yet, but like turning is very weird.
Taking it through the farm. Dan's got a lot of momentum here. He's
Perhaps
somehow
I'll just
already
stick
down
with
in
the
his
toe
delta,
adjustments.
moving back up. Like we said earlier, there's a million lines through here, so going to be a lot of interesting opportunities. To gain time. Unfortunately for Dan.
Thank you.
While he heads off on this one, let's take a look over at. Oh yeah, okay, so he's just starting off a lap
I mean,
as
I am
well,
too,
but
so.
we'll stick with him for the first couple turns
I
and
figured
see
that was
if he
just
can
some
pull something
extra
together.
that would damage them.
See, I am a J just put up
So
a
I did 115 on the straight, on the
27,194.
back straight.
I'm guessing that's miles per hour.
Yes.
God, I hope.
I have it on kilometers.
The focus, passion. This one is, oh yeah, this one is not Dan that we're watching currently. Dan's momentarily off track. He'll be back before the qualifying kicks off. Oop, and we have, oh yeah, taking a moment in the pits. Speaking of the pits, let's take a look around and see if we got anything going
Oh yeah,
on.
you can make it flat.
Oh,
I believe this will be the pit box of Patchy here
haven't been
with the
able to yet, so I
Kerchow,
sort of wonder
or
if I
sorry,
can
the
just cruise
Kerchu
through.
pit crew. It sounds pretty nice. I think we've got Tommy Boy over here with the Swamp
Actually,
Troll.
much worse. Much
And
fucking
we
worse.
seems to have
Oh my
grabbed
God.
on to K West in
I'm
the
going back to the
Ferrari.
fucking
We'll see
camber.
how things
I'm losing
pan
so much
out
time
for
in the
him
corners.
as he starts off strong with his lap here. Looking to find 4 seconds on the leaders up front, although as far as his class goes, I think he's right on the pace there, so nothing too crazy. Pueblo currently with a 27-1 over in the rookie and amateur practice. So that would put him actually P4 currently.
Somebody has a good
here in
setup.
our pro and expert one. We got Seb now asking for setups. Looks like Silverstone is claiming some lives as the frustration creeps in. Seb looking to find those extra 2 seconds. Not happy with what he's putting together just yet. West with a little bit of speed through Luffield, it seems to be.
What line are you guys taking for the
Got that's Dan behind him, so I think Dan's actually going to be on an outlap right now, so he's not going to be pushing too
Left, right,
hard, although he'll
circular.
definitely want to try and clear K West, who's got a little bit of lag issues going.
I'm not good at this, so I guess don't just hit it.
I mean, there's a very clear racing line to follow. That's already imprinted on the track.
Shoot them a quick message.
That's not working for me. I just don't understand where everyone's lap time is coming from. Like Leon showed me his lap and I'm doing what he's doing, but I'm just still slower somehow.
Alright, so we did reach out to K West just to see if they would mind leaving and coming back in between practice and qual, just to see if that might help with the lag spice issues. Oh, looks like they're going to go ahead and just try and nip that in the butt now.
Tire grip's fine. So I only met one mile an hour slower for the extra
I
camber.
did
That's
say in the message
fucking
between practice
wild.
and qual to try and make sure that they were able to get a few more laps out. I don't want to cut out any of their time. Hopefully they do make it back out on the grid. So Dan, we're gonna have a skewed delta because he disconnected and reconnected. So let's take a look behind. Speed Hack sitting with a 234 currently. TK West taking that chance to disconnect and reconnect. I know normally we take a little bit of a broadcaster's outlap, but given the significance of today's race, we're gonna let these guys have a clean and open track, not have to worry about the roaring D 2004 coming up behind them.
Probably not.
Oh. Then there may or may not be a NASCAR line around some of these turns.
Yeah.
Oh.
Touch track lines here.
Well, then I ask that nobody be a dick with it.
I thought about it, but you got it, man. I won't do it for you.
You're an absolute golden kid, you know that?
I wonder if that's one of those. Let's take a look and see if we can figure out any of these so-called NASCAR lines. We'll stick with the leaders. If anyone's gonna know how to push to the limits, it would be these guys up front. You see Jay has crept into the 226s with these guys. Track has not gotten too much warmer, so still a little bit to go as far as weather and all. Just taking a peek at the details.
You guys doing Cobb's flat?
I gave it a shot.
You
It does not work.
downshift to 4th, and then you just let off a little bit, but not like all the way. Like maybe to like 20% you let off, 10-20%.
Yeah, it's by no means a flat.
This is so
Just go
interesting.
full throttle after.
Okay.
Interesting. Okay, so these guys are going to get no weather changes during practice. They will have one weather change during qual and none during the race. So the current track depth of 28 and the wind speed of 11 is still subject to change. So they got a little bit to go. As far as NASCAR corners go, there's only two that I'm really thinking of, so we're going to stick with Dan until we get around to that point. This is not my way of saying that Dan is using those maliciously or anything, just that if the limits are being used on the top times, then they'll need to be addressed. If they're not, then that means other guys just need to get faster, but and managing to keep it clean so far. It's looking pretty good.
It's just that hairpin is such a blind corner because the pillar is in the way of the turn.
Oh, as he throws it, he keeps everything on the track there. So I'm going to go ahead and say we are all good. Let's take a peek over at Patchy, currently sitting P4 just shy of the podium spots there and joining in the hunt of the 26 pack. We do have a wide spread on the grid right now, all the way down to a 234, but that's not to say there's anything wrong with that.
Oh, what the fuck did I just run over?
Who is that?
Looks like we had Tommy Boy
I saw that.
probably going spinning or something.
I would like to know what the hell just happened to me too, so.
I chalked up to he hit a baller or something. Definitely his own fault. I say that as a good friend. Patchy, the man from across the pond, seems to be the only man from across the pond in today's event. I think it's only GT3s that we see Josh participating.
Give me the draft.
Do only have 6 racers currently. Now down to
How far away
5
from you are we?
over in the rookie
Yeah,
and
we got
amateur
some time to
race.
grab it.
Not a lot of action going on there with only 7 seconds remaining of the main part of practice.
I was sliding.
It is unfortunate because there's a lot of good battles there still
big
going
game going.
on. With this many people out, yeah, I'm a little surprised that we don't see some of these racers jumping in for what could almost be considered some free points. Apache not going to set a lap though during our overtime session. Let's see if anybody else has a chance. IMJ honestly looking pretty close. We'll stick with the man from Canada for just a little bit. Think he was accused earlier of putting a little bit of syrup on the tires for some extra traction. So we'll see how those accusations hold up with the FAA post-race inspection.
He was 25.
Ooh, looks like he has to slow it down to try and save it. So he's going to pull into the pits, call out of the lap. Take a look around.
It says, it's
I'm
probably gonna
not
be 2
sure
pits,
if
'cause
Scent.
there's,
It
the
does
fuel
say that Scent is able to
percentage
keep
higher.
moving. So
And there's going to be 2 pits and probably a tire change.
I'm not sure if he's still.
Yeah,
He
he's
might
giving
still
me
be on a
estimated
clean
laps
lap
right
though,
now,
the
but
way
I'm
that he's
not sure
pushing. So
I should trust that.
we'll see if he can set a little bit
That would
quicker
be a
here.
pit stop.
I know he's trying hard to get into that 26 squad. So oop, a big cut there. So I think he's
But
going
I
to
don't
be
know if your
off
tires
his
are gonna
lap
last, though.
officially.
Yeah, tires do seem sketchy.
Seb
Also,
Value
was
though
hitting 2 laps.
looking to come across the line with a little bit of an improvement here. This will at least put him into the 27s
They did
and
2
in
stops, I think.
competition with
Yeah, I
Tommy
think
Boy.
everybody did 2 stops.
We'll have to take a look at the standings between the sessions and
So we actually have to
see where
use
that
the pit
stands. A nice
strategy,
lap there by Seb Bellew. You
Yep.
see Woohoo
section.
Man trying to throw the car around these final few corners. He just needs to get a little bit of time. Can he find some speed in the final corner? He unfortunately does not. FIFO still out on the track. Seems to be on an outlap of sorts, so he's not going to be able to set one. And do you see Speedhead carrying on with a little bit of pace? We'll see what that one does for him.
It's most likely 2
He's got
pit, and
a
then
little
a
bit
tire
of ways
change in
to
one of the
go.
pits.
I'm not sure if overtime is going to give him enough of a
You
stretch
can
to
try to
finish.
get by with 1 pit if you do
He's
max
definitely
fuel, but you
trying.
might not have enough tread wear.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
could
450
do,
Gs.
you could do like a max fuel, your first stop, and then your next stop just do tires, and then be out that way.
We got the guys trying to trade up strategies and stuff there. My thoughts on that one would be if you're going to do a long stint, I would do the full fuel and tires up front, then have fresh tires with low fuel to end the race and try and work your way back up. Ooh, that might be a cut there. I'm not sure. 2 seconds up on his time though. Speed hack could be into the 30s, 32s, which he is. Okay, so that's going to be one of those wonky limits. We appreciate him kind of showing us that one. Scent seems to have just left the pits there, so we'll let him go on about his way, and we'll give you guys a nice big look at the track there. So overarching view, you can see Scent making his way down one of the straights now.
Oh boy.
No worries, Wes. Like, I just was
Damn,
kind of a
still need to
suggestion.
find,
It's
like,
not the
3
end of the world.
seconds. Idea where
We've had ping
I'm missing.
stuff before. These guys are experienced.
You
Ping
know what? I'm
dodgers.
just gonna shoot back, then track.
Just
hope
obviously
for a
off the
fresh
rip,
in front.
be a little careful, but other than that, we'll be fine.
Just use qualifying as practice if you can't get a really
So the light fog rolls in
lap up there.
as
We lap the
we
lap
head
tonight.
into the 29th
Yeah, I'll probably
minute
just do that.
of
Because if you
practice.
just think of it as practice,
Overtime's definitely going to be
you'll get
coming to an
faster
end
each lap.
soon.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Making my way over to the grid now. So we've got the Roasted Roosters. I think that's going to be Dave Bob there. I don't see Gus tonight.
Dude,
Do
Insta should
then have
keep on over-revving the engine.
getting
Because
bad
I'm
with
downshifting
the
into
vehicles
second.
here.
I don't know
FIFO
if
it
I
looks
should be
like,
doing that or not.
followed by number 23. That's going to be I am
Keep
J
over-
Patchy, the number
Think
4
which
car,
lane?
43 car.
like the last chicane.
Oh, who's got the Kerchu? Oh, that's probably speed
Depends on
bumps
third.
section there. Yep, I believe I set him
Like-
up with that one.
You don't downshift
Into
on
like
second.
Vale. fail.
Your ping is reading over 1,000 on Assetto Corsa. Wow. Are you wired or
You know what I'm talking
wireless?
I think there's a
Elastic.
mosquito in my room, bro. I saw it flying near my monitor and then it
That is
disappeared.
something
Hopefully it
wild.
leaves.
It's not supposed to do that much.
Watch me get bit by a mosquito mid-race.
The monster energy. This is where not having the names gets a little bit hard. They should wear like name tags. Should be able to be like, boom. "30 seconds left until practice begins."
Wait, Sent, did you try running Leon setup, the one that you were sharing in your post?
Yeah, I am right
Looks
now.
like we do have qualifying underway
it
for the
works,
rookies,
it's just
so that'll be good.
you definitely need traction control.
Hmm.
I don't know.
No worries,
I'm
Wes. We'll make it work,
trying
man.
both. I just don't know which one's better.
Yeah, just fight him off the Xboxes. That's good enough. All right, let's get out to the front and see who will lead the charge. That's going to be Seb Bellew rocking the Monster Energy. As we see the lineup
Careful.
form, as everybody starts to make their way out. This is a nice little minute of heavy fog here. Gives everybody a chance to take it easy. Honestly, forces them to take it easy through these first couple corners. Hopefully spread the pack out a little bit. We don't want to see any early dives just yet. We got a lot of qualifying left to go. You can see Seb already has plenty of space between him and Oh Yeah behind. The nice thing is, with only 1 minute of heavy fog, we are going to see this clear up, I believe, yep, right now. And we can see the whole grid looping their way through those S's there. Everybody trying to work their way through and get a little bit of space together for a clean lap. Looks like we will have 13 on our end here, and it's looking like 6 over in the rookie event. 22 degrees on the track, so real cold for the remainder of qualifying here. They're going to have to be working hard to get some heat in the tires, although wear might help them out a little bit. And we will take a peek for a moment. Always love that view of all the cars there, just working their way through the S's. And FIFO fighting that one real hard. We're going to take a little second to go back towards our normal view. There we go. That's FIFO with some speed chasing down Tommy Boy. So Tommy Boy must have lost the pack, probably fell off a little bit, or was maybe trying to put a little bit of space between him and the main grouping to get a clean lap in the bag early on. I know normally at this phase we'd be doing some interviews, but this is a big one. 20 minutes until the race, so gotta let these guys focus, get their best chance at a clean one through. We have a couple of defending moments going on here. I'm surprised we won't have an appearance from Sir Banana to wrap up his chase for Oh Yeah's position. I believe a P2 would have done wonders for him today on the grid. Maybe even a P3 was all he needed. I'm not 100% positive.
I'm so sorry, Woo.
No, it's fine. I just wanted to sit there and I should have really gotten off track. I kind of forgot I had that button, but I figured if I'm just gonna sit here, I'll sit here, and that's all right.
Oh
I'm gonna
man,
turn into the pit wall.
I was like, oh, I have, I've got grip. I've got this. I didn't have it.
Why is the green part like after the curbs? So
Alright, I'm back. Sorry. I know we lost a lot of volume there. And we just had to address something.
She tried
But
it in
we've
Gran
got
Turismo
FIFO
7.
in
They're the
Club
slipperiest
Corner
thing in the world.
working hard to cut his time down. We do see Dan with a 26.4. That 22-degree track temps is
I know,
definitely
doesn't
eating
make
at these
sense though.
times because we
Those are
saw
fun
these
for
guys
some people.
with
They
much,
really are.
much faster times earlier in the evening. Oh, this is actually going to be a little interesting moment here. We see, oh yeah, in front of Dan as they both try and make their way through a little bit of traffic. Can't get a good glimpse. I think
I
that
really thought that the
might
force feedback that they used
be
was
actually that's going to be an
not very
all
helpful.
green car, so that might be Woohoo Man up ahead. That these guys are trying to go around. This corner might be an opportunity. Take a better look if we can. And that's actually going to be the Monster Energy vehicle of Seb Bellew himself. We got a better look at the bonnet, so I should have assumed green wheels. That makes sense. Dan actually seems to have found his way past. Oh, yeah. And is now hunting down
God damn
Seb
it!
in front. Let's take a look
I can't catch
behind.
it.
Well,
Sorry,
actually,
Quest.
he is on a Delta at the moment, so we'll see. Sorry, he is on a green Delta at the moment, so we'll see if he can string something together. It's flashing the man in front to let him know he's on a heater, but Seb might be as well. Dan will be able to keep on the throttle and pull a little bit of a draft out of the way there, so that will help him tremendously. Do see Seb Bellew going to try and take advantage of that as well. So it has something to do with the S's there. That might be where those times are coming through. No worries, Wes. I got you, brother. Enjoy the race. We'll see you on the other side. I believe in you.
Oh, if I'm in the
All right, so it looks like they got something going on there. Yeah, it looks like everybody else was setting laps there except for one of the racers in the rookie thing. So some kind of issue with the connection, I think, on their end, or with the service connection to them, but they weren't able to see that. Qualifying had shifted over to in progress. But it looks like that is sorted, so we will be all good there. Yeah, no, the volume goes when I click out float, that's all. But just had to get some shit sorted. All right, where were we? 15 minutes left. Let's take a look around the grid. Tommy Boy, that's going to be the one to watch. Thankfully, coming across the line with a real lap now at a 2:27. So he was one of the ones, I think, just shy of a 26 earlier. So we'll see if he can find that time back. Again, I really think this 22-degree track temp is going to be hurting these guys a little bit more than they thought. Well, there's a nice find there. That's going to be Sent. He's on a little bit of a wide out at the moment, but a 2:26.6, so that's a really nice lap by Sent at one point during the call. Hopefully he can maintain that pace during the race, give these guys a little bit of a fight. Dan pulls out a 2:25, so that's going to be quite the impressive stretch there. A huge difference in the pace. It'll definitely be setting the tone for these guys to start to gain a little bit more time if they can. Sent absolutely pushing the car to its limits there. Not far off his time. Definitely close enough to try and make it back up. Hanging on pretty good so far. Like I said, I do like the Castrol car. It's like a nice vintage livery almost. Gets a lot of rotation there though, and I think that will be the unfortunate end of this hot lap. He does have a few coming around the corner. He does stay off to the side and give the guys the racing line through the bend, and that will give them a chance to resume their fight. Do you see I Am a J here being either chased down or helped by Oh Yeah, as both of them have nearly a second to drop on their quest for Dan up in front. Certainly going to be a tricky one there. I think that is the 23 versus the 24. Oh Yeah can find even a couple tenths on his next hot lap. He might be able to get Jay sandwiched in between the two 24 cars off the starting lineup. All right, so we don't see any improvement off of Jay's lap, and obviously won't see one off of Oh Yeah's lap. We'll let these guys make their way all the way around. Let's take a look in at K West. Currently on an out lap, so they got a little bit of time to go. We'll look at Speed Hack in Wellington Straight right now. It's got a little bit of time to make up. Seems like they might have had an incident in turn 1 or 2 to lose about a second on their overall time. Looking pretty strong through Brooklands though, although I don't see any movement on the Delta. They may have actually pit and head back out and haven't hit the point where they went out for a pit. So we'll let them go. Check in on Bot Lando behind with a 2.9. And you heard it from the AI announcer there. Oh, he gets me with that every time. I don't know if he's streaming, but I'll give him the broadcast little advertisement there from Woohoo Man. Woohoo Man's one of the OGs. He's been racing with us, I want to say since the very, very beginning, but at least since the early seasons. Possibly the beta ones. It's a group of about 80 people all flooded the server. About 20 were able to make it to the first race, as per usual. Actually, it's better odds than we have these days. we could get 20% of the server, we'd need more servers for the races. Or bigger tracks. Speed hack going way wide there. Alright, so K-West looking good, actually in decent form here as they head around Cop's Corner. Do see relatively close times in the rookie battle between the 6 or 7 members we seem to have there. It's kind of unclear right now how many people will actually be racing. We seem to have Chris and Christian both ready and available to fight their battle, but I see Wibba, Exeter, Elvis, and Brian. Marin C seems to have poked his head in and dipped his toe in the water and left shortly after. He's sandwiched right in with the Chris's though, so hopefully he will return before the race itself begins. The nice friendly competition, I'm sure, between the three of them. Nine minutes remain. The sun has made its way up pretty far in our sky today. We see everybody pushing hard through Club Corner. 8 minutes remaining of practice, so getting down to the wire. You see Patchy just shy of the 26 squad, so there's a few guys who are still looking to squeeze their way in. I was hoping to see Tommy Boy make that appearance, but I don't know if we'll see it today, or at least during qual. Patchy, on the other hand, has a strong chance, not too far off his time currently, and with a good exit into the Hanger Straight, he'll find himself with a fighting chance into the final few turns. He only needs to find 7 thousandths, so a couple strong turns will do it. Hopefully he's still within the track limits there, because that did help him out a little bit as he heads with speed into Club Corner. Delta does get weird through the braking zones, but that seemed to have helped him out once more. Can he make his way through the final corner and into the last straight on a clean lap? He can, and just shy of cent ahead. So those two, I'm sure, will be battling things out. Patchy on a mission as he carries through with some force onto his next lap. So he'll be going right out for another attempt. Let's take a look now at Tommy Boy. Tommy Boy actually only a little bit ahead of Patchy in track positioning, so he'll be paving the way. Has a little bit of a slip up through Luffield, so we're not going to see a hot lap from him this time around. Oh yeah, on the other hand, just starting out the lap and already 2/10 up, so that could be very big. That'll at least get him into the 25s if he can maintain the pace for the remainder. Looking clean through Wellington. He is starting to work his way towards a little bit of traffic. It's going to come down to which cars are ahead. I do see Speed Heck in the number 24 car. So a lot of 24s, must be a popular number. 243s as well. Still gaining on his time now through the Cops Corner. And he's looking pretty good. He did lose a little bit of time there. I think he's still going to have enough, though, to get into the 25s. I haven't seen him slip up too often in Sector 3, but getting a strong toe down the straight would help him out tremendously as he goes through Beckett's, once more finding time, but is forced to take the runoff. And unfortunately, that will be the end of his hot lap attempt. Goes goes in quick for some fresh tires and a light fuel load. But Lando seems to be up on his Delta. Is this a clean one? We'll find out. Heading through the final corner of the track. Looks like he's going to be gaining about half a second. This could be enough to gain the Canadian man in front of him. Ooh, but falls just shy, 0.08 of a second away from P9 to start off the season finale. Certainly close competition here, but not going to be enough for today's event. Alright, so with only 4 minutes remaining of qual, we are starting to see people set their peak times. These guys are pushing hard, but they don't want to lose their concentration just yet. They've got an hour-long race with 2 pit stops ahead of them. A lot of work to do here, so we'll see who can make the most of it. Just going to take a second to check in. So just to give you guys an update on the rookie and amateur event. In P1 currently we have Exeter. Who seems to have disconnected from the server. Interesting. We'll see if they do rejoin as their race is going to begin shortly. It looks like they are in overtime over there in the rookie side of things as we head into the final few minutes.
Hello. Greetings.
Good evening.
That is Dan hopping into the chat there. So we got a nice full crew, everybody getting ready, settling in. Dan's going to be happy with his 25. Oh yeah, not going to be able to reach into the 25s, but we'll take what he's got for the moment. And I think Jay will be trying to see if he can get one more crack at it. Tommy Boy did creep closer, and Patchy did successfully creep over that 27 group. So we'll see if Tommy Boy can close the gap for himself or if he will stay a part of this battle for 6th place between him, Dave Bob, and Woohoo. One thing when you get a race like this, pit strategy comes so heavily into play. They've got 2 stops that they've got to do. I think they only technically have to change the tires once, or technically they don't have to change them at all, but it will cost them as far as grip towards the end. So a lot of variables that these guys have to consider. Hopefully they've been trying to play around with some of those strategies during all of the event week workup.
Glad to hear that.
No, 1/3.
Oh fuck. That is suboptimal. Damn it, oh yeah, you're supposed to be second.
Barely enough time left for another lap.
Yo, what's up, everybody?
No, what up, cheese?
I forgot I muted myself. Howdy, cheese.
Yo. I'm not gonna race with you guys tonight. I'm not quite there yet, but I'll be back for the first race next season. watch though.
Damn, bro,
Alright.
come on. Sainz was back after a week.
I
Like,
think
what
it
the
was
hell?
2. Was he in the car after 7 days?
I think so.
I looked it
I'm-
up. The race was 2 weeks later, and
He was,
the next
he was
race
also in the car during it.
What?
He was also in the car during his appendicitis, so.
I think you can do it. I think you can do it.
I probably could, but I'm not gonna push it.
What's the worst that can happen? Like, a hernia?
A hernia, yes.
Uh-oh.
That wouldn't happen.
Isn't a hernia, like, doesn't that, someone, like, isn't that, like, doesn't stress cause that or something?
There are a number of causes for it, I think, but it's when part of your intestine protrude through your abdominal tissue.
Oh.
That's not optimal.
Oh.
Say, like an incision.
That's
And it's
so-
permanent.
that's so awful.
There's surgeries for it, but yeah, it's hard to get it to fix it, and it's painful.
That's suboptimal.
Yeah, I don't think this is worth risking it. That's probably really not a risk right
It
now.
could be worth it. It could be worth it.
But very, very low likelihood of that at this point. But
Have you practiced at all?
I've sat in my rig and tried to brake a couple of times. If I always broke in a straight line, I think I'd be fine. But if I like turn,
All right, I am
if I have
back.
muscle engagement, like it's
Uh-oh.
not quite. I'll be a few days.
I mean, Sainz did it in a real F1 car.
I do not understand how, dude. I was miserable in pain when
Been
I
on
went into
some
the
crazy
hospital.
pain meds.
I cannot understand. Yeah.
He did FP1 while suffering from appendicitis.
I mean, if they gave him an antibiotic during that, he would have been better off. Like an antibiotic, like they treat appendicitis in a lot of places of the world without surgery, only with antibiotics.
No, the best thing is that he kept it a secret.
So how many laps did they do in EU again? Was it 22?
It's 24, it has to be, no?
Oh, okay. So
So
if
12,
you just-
12.
So you're gonna have to at least do a 2-stop.
They did 25.
I think the one stop works.
They did 25. I don't think anyone successfully pulled off a one stop.
25?
Yeah,
How?
I think you could pull off a
per an hour.
You could probably.
We're gonna let them plan whatever strategies they.
Yeah, it was
Or,
registering
like-
25 laps.
Yeah, and for a full tank it's 12.5.
So if you conserve fuel, you
I
can
guess,
one
yeah,
stop
you'd
it.
probably be cutting it pretty close. If you have one mistake, you're done. You have to do a 2-stop. So,
Don't
It's
make
not
mistakes.
out of the
Don't make
question though, from what I can see.
well, hopefully this goes well. I'm gonna go to the bathroom before the race starts.
Looks like we've
Okay,
got
so
all
how
our
long do you
racers
figure
lined
for
up. So
2-stop.
the race has begun
You gotta go
for
to
the
pit stop
rookie
strategy menu at like the very end of the setup.
and amateur
Yeah,
race.
Oh,
Looks like they will be 7
Damn.
men strong. Wibba did rejoin the
I
grid
did
and
too.
leads them well.
33.
I think it
Not
might be a
close
fucking
enough for
two-stop
gaps to
shit.
be forming up just yet. So
make
we'll
sure
have
you
to
don't
keep
miss your
our
laps,
eyes
everybody.
on the action.
Oh shit. But how?
We're doing our best to keep tabs on it. It does look like it is very close. If you look at the bottom right of the screen,
When I enter the pit for the second time, that I'm on the right for the correct preset. Like I'll use preset 1 and 2 for my 2 stops, and I have to switch over, or else it sometimes. fucks me
so
up.
as people are starting to finish out their first sectors, looks
But
like
25
Wibba is off to a
laps is an
strong
average
lead of
time
about
of
0.4.
224.
Everybody else within about a second of each other. That group has not split off just yet.
But 24
Everybody's
laps is a
giving themselves
230.
enough
Oh, so
space
you're
though
gonna
to
be
where
under
we
that.
don't see
Where can
any
you see
contact
the-
early
Oh,
on.
it's an extra lap.
But that's
Where are the
definitely
standings?
nice
There
and
we go.
clean, making their way through the
results,
S's
isn't it?
now.
Oh,
Yeah, race results.
Check race results.
Got a little
Shit, it was
bit
a two-stop.
of
just wanna see
lag
who I'm
spike
ahead of.
issues going on, it seems like,
Who we
with
need to beat.
the live timings, and one of the members,
I wish it was
Wibba, for some reason,
first to last.
shows him as just stuck in the middle there. Oop. And then we see him now all of a sudden
Like, there will
in
be a
the
two-star
middle
thing.
and now towards the back of the grid. Not positive what happened there. Maybe some sort of connection issue. Certainly something we'll look into because that seems to happen during the practice as well. We'll have to get a ticket going and get deeper into what's going on with the connection issues.
What are your
Probably
guys'
play
tire
around with
pressures
some of
at?
the
I have all 20, but my right front's at 19.
practice server
Sounds about
and
right.
logs.
Yep.
They do
Oh,
seem to just be
hopefully this
bouncing around the live timings. I really cannot tell
What takes longer, refueling or
where they're
tires?
at.
I think
Tires.
they all
I
happen
think
at
they're
once.
just
They do
shy
they happen at one time, but the
of
tires
the
take much
pack.
longer.
Tires take so
Yeah,
much longer.
tires is longer
And
than
gaps are starting to
45
appear on the live
Yeah, you do
timings
full
now
tanks like
as they made their
6
way
seconds,
around.
maybe a
So
bit more.
does show everybody
Yeah,
within
but
a second of
everyone
each
should
other.
be doing
Wibba,
tires 'cause they
unfortunately,
wear down
3
pretty
seconds
quickly.
off the pace, but
Not too quickly.
does show some
we
severe
haven't
connection
experienced much
issues,
tire
showing
wear.
274 ping. So that might be
Maybe.
part of what we've
Is
got
this
going on.
450%?
Hopefully they can make their way back
Yeah,
up
even
through the
then,
grid,
the
though.
tires
They
are
did have
really,
some
really,
strong
really
pace,
durable.
and it is a nice long hour. Maybe that will
But
even
We don't need
itself
juice
out
out.
the presets. Dan.
All
Yep.
right, and as the
Fuel?
countdown is
I'm
now
doing
over,
like 32, 32, 32.
Okay.
And they
we
got
will
two stints,
head on
but
over
last
to the
one
grid,
didn't. Nine.
prepare
one of them
for
didn't. Shit,
prepare for the
What
final
runs, though?
race
Boys, I got an hour
of
to go.
season
Good
4.
luck.
So just to recap the current standings, we've over in the
No
rookie race, we have Exeter leading off, Chris C, X-Marin C, Elvis, Christian Crafton, Brian, and then Wibba not far off the pack now. Christian
Thinking
Crafton
is hard,
trying to
man.
catch up to Chris C as they are in the battle for
Wow.
points. Here in front of
2
you,
seconds.
though, with 20 seconds left, we've got Dan, Jay, Oh Yeah, Sent, Patchy, Tommy Boy, Dave Bob, Woohoo, Botlando, Seb, FIFO, and
Good luck,
K
boys.
West bringing up the rear. It is, sorry, Speed Hack bringing up the rear behind K West. It is one healthy looking grid, and away we go. A beautiful start there by Sent. He gets right off to the rip. Does get the edge out on the Canadian in front of him. We'll see. Looks like a little bit of side-by-side action through turn 1. The rookie race was able to make it through basically so far the entire race clean as they have spread themselves out. Unfortunately, not able to say the same
a
as
lot of wide
Tommy Boy
driving.
hits Seb and ping pongs into Patchy. Patchy going to be caught up in the crossfire there, unfortunately. Or actually, that's going to be Jay who was ping ponged out by Tommy Boy behind.
Whoa.
Thankfully, we do see a lot of racers together. Someone got really caught up in that. That's going to be Seb Bellew. So I think we jinxed him there, calling out that one as the move. We might have 3 going wide, though, as K West does pull off just a little bit to let the other guys go through. And we'll spring on back up to the front and see what's going on up here. So we've got Dan leading the pack with a decent gap between him and everyone else through Woodcote, followed by Yeah and Sent and Tommy Boy. We'll latch on with Dave Bob momentarily through the National Pit Straight as you see the rest of the grid lining up behind them.
Say, do I have front wing damage? Instead of, did I just kill
going real wide out through Cop's corner. And we will back it up for a second because this is one of the nicer views that we get to have on the track as the entire grid makes their way through the S's. You can really see that there's not too much of a gap between them other than currently Seb Bellew, who still has a lot of time to make back up. So We are currently locked in with
Yeah, I
IMJ,
got
who
a
finds
full
himself
tank.
at the
It was
back of the
heavy.
pack despite having one of the top qual times, so he was definitely caught up in those early
Well,
on
they say you cut the course.
chaos.
You gotta get back the time gate.
Ooh, and he finds a nice line through with the pack on Valet, or Vale. Oops. And ooh, sticks a nose in through club corner, but pulls out at the last second. Doesn't want to risk any further damage at this stage. Patchy's going to try and get the nose right back into the final straight. Does have to leave a little bit of room for Jay, and little bit he does. Ends up pulling off just a little bit more and gives him a chance. That actually gives Speed Hack a chance behind him to try and make a move. Patchy sees him cutting for the inside. He's going to cut it a little close, but he does give him space to stay on the track.
How much
Speed
for
Hack
towing service?
trying to stay cautious as these guys take three very different lines through the village corner. Got an interesting five-man train here that all seem to be trying to pass each other and not really work.
Points and use 0.
Not trying to work together, that is for sure. That three-man train up ahead, though, definitely has the pace. Patchy's going to try and slingshot his way through and be the late diver. And it works out for the position on K-West. Goes a little bit off limits, looking for the chance on Woohoo. Ooh, and cuts in nicely. Barely has the space, but pulls it off. Not sure if K-West pulled back or what, but that worked out. We do see Patchy still going for his opportunity. We're going to jump up to that one. He's going to give the bump draft now, it looks like, to Woohoo. We're going to let these guys work together.
Can we get a steward in here?
So we'll take a look at what it is that people are complaining about.
What? Pronto?
Guys, there are built-in track limits and stuff, and there's a report system. Let's not bring it up in voice chat, please.
What is your problem?
This is not right.
I was actually kidding. The report system.
Okay. Well, he got us all rados. Okay, well, he got the broadcast team, and that's for sure. It sounds like he might have gotten sent as well. But, anywho, looking back onto Tommy Boy in P4, he's actually clinging on to these leaders pretty good, all putting in a decent gap to each other. I'm not sure who it was who. Ooh, wait a minute. I did see a three-man wide battle fight happening. They're going to have to give room for Woohoo to get back into the action. He does lose a little bit of pace as he's forced to take the runoff. He'll try and squeeze his way back in. Ooh, Jay with a little bit of contact towards Patchy. Patchy now taking the runoff. That is not the most ideal spot to enter it back in, but manages to do so cleanly. Ooh, and contact there between K-West and Speed Hack. K-West going to keep moving through. Speed Hack re-enters nearly with some contact on Seb Bellew, who has now got the position in front. We do see Patchy and Woohoo. Their battle's not over. We'll see if something can happen. Chris C does seem to have taken the lead over in the rookie event, by the way. Exeter not giving that up just yet. Wibba finding himself now in P4 on his charge back up to the front of the pack. Sticking with Woohoo here, I do see K-West may have had a little bit of a spin as he finds himself in P13 chasing down, sorry, P12 being chased down by Speed Hack, who has the acceleration and manages to move through for now. So as this battle starts to stagnate a little bit, we'll look back up towards the front. So a lot of action there packed into the first 7 minutes of the race. The grid now spread out almost throughout the entirety of the back straight, so to speak. We did actually forget to adjust this for you guys, so give me just a minute here and we'll do our best. That is a little bit closer representation for the win. So only 4 kilometers an hour, but that is what it looks like in relation to the track. 31-degree track temps for them, so that is going to eat through tires a little bit faster than some of them might have been expecting, but it will produce some faster lap times, which we're already seeing. Dan's got a 26.6 and a full tank of gas, so I'm assuming, oh, and now a 26.3. So definitely with these 30, well, now it's 31-degree track temp, or maybe that's what it was earlier and I misspoke. We are seeing some strong results. Let's take a moment to let the grid go by. We've got, oh yeah, Scent and Tommy Boy all chasing them down. Tommy Boy actually starting to get a little bit of an opportunity on Scent in front. He's doing a good job of mirroring the moves of the man in front of him. But through Aintree Corner, he's not going to have enough space to catch up and take advantage of the draft. Let's take a look a little further back. IMJ trying to fend off Patchy, looking for the same opportunity. And he as well will fall just short of the drafting range. Down in the back of the pack, the man who's suffered a little bit of misfortune today, Seb Bellew, finds himself behind K West. I'm sure he's got a little bit of a motivation factor going on right now, as he has been the misfortunate one a few times throughout this season. We might give him a survivor badge when things wrap up. Looking for a chance to catch up through Luffield, and I don't think he's going to get it, but he'll at least get close enough to where he may get want to be one of our first ones into a drafting opportunity. You see Patchy getting closer and closer on his end. Chris C and Wibba, a little bit of contact there at 40 kilometers an hour, it seems. Unsure how that will affect the overall standings of the race there. It seems both racers are able to keep moving on with their current pace. But now actually seems to have fallen to, ooh, and it looks like K West has a little bit of a struggle through Beckett's. That gives Seb the chance to go through. And speaking of chances, Tommy Boy looking for the move through Club Corner, back and forth with Scent. Scent going to go for one more switchback into the final straight. He will get the inside. He'll have the nose in. Tom goes as wide as he can, but has to keep a few treads on the track itself. He'll have the pace to keep the nose in front, but Scent might go for the late move. Doesn't need to, and manages to keep the side-by-side going into Farm Curve. Pulls back a little bit, still looking for the switchback opportunity, which he's hoping to find here through the village. Tom not giving it to him. It's not exactly defensive driving. These guys are just stuck next to each other, not able to switch up lines. Scent now finds himself in front, heading into the Wellington Straight here, but Tom is going to be able to stick with him. He's going to try and pull off the draft at the last moment. Scent not sure which way to go, but ends up having to leave the space for Tom. And Tom will complete the move through Luffield. That won't be the end of it, though, as Scent still on the gas heavy. He will look for another opportunity as they head towards the next straight. If he can keep himself within this range here, he'll certainly have a chance, as this is in that drafting opportunity. Might not be through the pits, though, as these guys are going to have to tidy up the lines and work together through this next section. Glance back over to Scent's view. Seems we did have a Wibba unfortunately disconnect from the rookie amateur race. We do know that was probably due to latency related issues, though, so if it affects the overall standings, it'll definitely be something that is addressed. Scent thinking about pulling in for the drafting opportunity, realizes he doesn't have the space. Getting real close to Tom, though, not giving him too much space to make a move. They're going to be side by side, and Sent still pulls a later braking opportunity out through Stowe. That'll force Tom to find another way through. He'll have to sit on the rear for a few more turns. We saw this action pick up through Club Corner last time. I can actually hear Dave Bob behind them. This battling is definitely costing them some time. We'll see what they put up on this next lap. Sent with a 28, Tommy Boy with a 29. So these guys way off the pace right now. Over 2 seconds. They're going to be losing the battle in front if they can't start working together to make something happen. Let's glance back up and see if Tommy Boy is going to look for a chance. I think actually Seb Bellew just found a nice passing opportunity through the beginning of Club Corner there. Will maintain the position into the straight, so he finds himself now in P11 and on the charge towards Woohoo Man and the gang in front. Now, for those who are unfamiliar, Seb Bellew does have a history of undermining with the pit stop strategies and pulling out a different strategy than what everyone's expecting. So today we have 2 stop and a single tire change seems to be the general consensus. I wouldn't be surprised if we see Seb pull something else out of his bag of tricks and make up that 13 seconds there. Bot Lando looking for the chance past Phi. He finds it for a moment, but Phi takes it back through Luffield. Bot Lando will have the acceleration and has to make a decision. I think he's going to look for the bump draft as he sticks close to him. But now it's going to be a little bit close, so he leans off just a bit. I do see Tommy Boy and Sent still having their battle up front, so we're going to take a moment to head back over to that. Through Beckett's, we've got Tommy Boy now hot on the heels. He will have a drafting opportunity if he can keep the pace on his exit, which so far he does. But Bot Lando's going to have a chance as well. He's got a little bit of a better acceleration through. He'll at least pull off the move for now. We'll see if Tommy Boy tries to go for something. Nothing yet, so Bot Lando still finds himself successful on the move. However, Jay has joined the party now in a 3-way battle for P6. Jay, again, one of the top times during qual, so he's going to be looking to make his way through. Dan puts up a 1:26.1 current fastest lap of the evening. 15 minutes in, though, so a lot of time left to see some improvement. We did see the 125 towards the end of qual appear. That was going to be only by Dan. You can hear Patchy only 1 second off of this battle, so really a 4-man fight for P6. If Patchy can close that gap, which you can see him pushing hard to do. We're going to jump over to Bot Lando's point of view as he's currently the one defending. You can see Sent and Tommy Boy off in the distance, still neck and neck, giving more and more opportunities, though, to Dave Bob, who is trying to make his way into the podium fight. Bot Lando taking advantage of the fight behind him, now sitting a full second ahead, so not giving a drafting chance to anyone in the P7, 8, or 9 grouping. Jay, though, going to be looking for a move on FIFO, who thinks about defending but isn't going to be able to cover it off, has to pull back wide, nearly gives Patchy a chance through. He does have a look and will now be fresh on the bumper. And a deeper runoff and a draft could mean Patchy might be able to make the move through the pit straight here, or the back pit straight, I guess we'll call it for clarification purposes. Not to separate from the move, but it seems we had Sent, unfortunately, go off the track there. We'll see how many positions it costs him. He is re-entering right in the middle of this big pack here. And he's able to stay on the track, does not lose too many positions, and gives us a chance actually to watch the fight that we were earlier. So that's going to give Tommy Boy a chance to get back on hot lapping. 6.7 seconds separating between him and in P2. 4.9 between him and Dave Bob in P4. Bot Lando, the one currently fighting, though, to hold off this large grouping looking for their chance at P5 and to hunt it down the Roasted Roosters. We see Patchy sandwiched in between Scent and FIFO back there. Nobody finding a way through. FIFO looking down the outside and cuts to the inside at the last moment, forces Patchy to go defensive and takes advantage of it. Not going to be enough to get anything by him, though, into the final straightaway. Lando with some serious pace through Abby. Looks like him and Jay are starting to have a little fight of their own, as the men behind seem a little bit more focused with fending each other off. Jay has been making quick work of the grid ever since he had some misfortunate incidents. One with Tommy Boy using him as the cue ball in a attempt to sink Patchy in the hole. And one with Patchy as well, unfortunately. But I think that one might have been more of a misread of lines. I'm not really sure. Kind of don't remember after 20 minutes of racing. Todd, welcome to it. Race is going pretty well. Over in the rookie end of things, we've got Chris C up front. Wibba unfortunately had to disconnect due to some latency ping issues, causing some issues with the grid. Exeter, though, within a second of Chris C. Over in that one, we've got Marin C within 4 seconds of them, and Christian Crafton well behind them, unfortunately, but he's only, a little bit of contact there. So Patchy, I think, does send Scent into Bot Lando. So that's going to cause a little bit of contact there. Patchy
Okay,
ends
you
up
pulled back
just
right, you
flying
avoided it.
right through. I'm not sure if that was just kind of a grouping that caused a little bit of a racing incident. But everybody manages to hold their own. Seems we got everybody still within a second or two of each other. 40 minutes still remaining of race. And Dan's going to be taking the first pit opportunity with following in behind him.
Cars feel fine.
So they will be the first to pit. Is this going to set off another wave? Let's find out. So we do see a couple guys are going to follow the leaders in. Not everybody. So that's going to be Jay going with them, trying to cover them off. Tommy Boy, he's going to have a bold strategy here. So he's going to be attempting to put a big gap between them. I think about 20 seconds if he can. He, however, has only about 8 seconds. So he's got to somehow have a killer lap here while hoping that Dan and are unable to do the same, or at least put a dent in it. This little group of pit stops, though, did create a little bit of chaos up front, as we do have Scent now still getting ahead of Bot Lando, looking to catch FIFO up at front. And is now leading this pack. He's found himself a little bit further up the grid order. Seb Bellew, though, looking for a pass on his Canadian counterpart. Jay has done his pit stop already. Again, with Seb, you never know what his overall strat is going to end up being. We could see some race conservation.
Shifting to second. Don't blow my engine.
He already caught well up to the grid with the first mini wave of pits. As you can see on the mini map, everything's gotten a lot closer together. Seb knows Jay's on the fresher tires, though, so it doesn't look like he's going to really fight. Scent, on the other hand, is still trying to make the move permanent on Bot Lando. And a little bit of contact there. He does pull through and keep moving, but doesn't seem like any hard feelings between them, as they're able to keep pushing through the race. You see Patchy now is going to be the next one looking for his chance, though. Interesting one here. He is on older tires, and is fresh out of the pits. So he's hoping to at least get within drafting range to try and make something happen. Don't want to ignore the side-by-side fight into the S's, though, as Jay and Seb Bellew have not finished the battle for who is the most Canadian. Ooh, nearly a little bit of contact there between the two of them through Chapel Corner. And the way my brain reads. But down the hanger straight, Seb Bellew going to use the advantage of that draft and try and catch up a little bit more. Apache now going to head into the pits. So he will be on a isolated wave, it seems, unless we see a move from Seb Bellew. You see Woohoo Man following him in, so that will be interesting as well. Tommy Boy seems like he's going back around. He is, so he's going to go for at least one more lap here. I'm curious to see how much he's going to try and stretch out of this tank. I think I've got about 10 seconds currently separating him and Dan, so we'll see where that ends up costing him. Apache seems to be falling further and further back in the pit order, though. I think that's just Woohoo's pit box was a little further ahead of his, but Apache now making his way back onto the grid. Woohoo not too far behind him. These guys have a lot of open air to work with as Speed Hack spins out heading into the final corner. So they'll have a nice open exit. Speaking of open air, Dave Bob kind of on his own a little bit. Does see Dan slowly gaining up on him, but he's also losing positions or losing a little bit of pace to Tom in front. So the question is, how close are these together? At the moment, Tom's got a 39.7 on his first sector and Dan with a 39.9. So Tom at least showing that he does have a chance, putting a little bit more improvement down. We'll see where it can play off, though. Sent and Bot Lando still close together, as well as the two Canadians, but nobody within striking distance. We're getting closer to the end of the lap, though, so we're going to check in with Tom one more time here, see if maybe 10 laps is his limit. Again, hard to tell exactly what he's thinking. We don't have a live read on his fuel calculations, unfortunately. But he decides this is not the lap either. So Tom, I think he's toying with the idea of a one stop. I think he's fueled up the car all the way just in case he can get away with it. Technically, all he's got to do is make it past the 30-minute marker, and then he knows he's good. I wouldn't pit before it, though, just because you do want to leave yourself a little cushion for overtime. As we jump into the battle here between Sent, Botlando, and now FIFO for P5. Don't see anybody else peeling off into the pits just yet, so I think the remaining grouping who has not pitted yet are all toying with that idea of trying to make it work for a one stop. Your leaders, Dan and Oh Yeah, currently sitting P3 and 4. Oh Yeah definitely lost a little bit of time, possibly to traffic or just trying to fend off FIFO behind him. Or I think Apache was behind him for the most part. Apache was holding up some pretty good pace. I know we're getting a little bit quiet here, but that's just because the battle is finally starting to begin. We see Sent making a little bit more progress towards FIFO in front, so it does look like he's going to be safe from Botlando for at least the time being. The question is a pit strategy going to come into play to this fight right here for P5? These both racers have adopted the same attempt the one stop if necessary strategy. I know Sent was one of the ones advocating for it prior to the beginning of today's official race. So 0.4 behind, that definitely puts him within the edge of drafting range. He's gonna have to find a little bit more time on him through Beckett if he can. And a bigger exit here puts him well within the drafting opportunities. In fact, he might not even fully need it. He'll hang on for just a moment and try and cut to the inside at the last second, which he does successfully. These guys looking pretty good side by side. Scent gonna give him just a little bit of room, and it's enough for him to get through, but not enough for him to get the acceleration back just yet. He'll be sticking close through Vale into Club Corner, but an early braking move to leave space will give Scent a little bit of breathing room as he heads towards the final corner. FIFO hasn't given up yet. He's sticking right within that drafting range. Those lap times were not the closest together, but FIFO could be using mirroring to his advantage here. We'll see what happens. Seb Bellew pulling off into the pits with 32 minutes remaining. So I don't believe he'll be going for the one-stop strategy, as we were kind of hoping to see. FIFO really looking for a way to sniff the nose through, but can't seem to find one. We do see some pit opportunities changing up the action over on the rookie end of things. So let's take a look up front at Dave Bob trying to hold off Dan while I'll go over the rookie standings there. So Exeter has not pit yet. 12 laps in, currently leading by 1 second to Marin C. Problem there is Marin C has pit, so he does have a lot of work to do. Chris C right on the tails of Marin C, and then Christian Crafton, who has not pit, does seem to be struggling and is a full lap down. Not sure if he had a teleport moment. We did hear Scent call over the radio that he will be pitting this lap, so that is going to give him the chance for some fresh tires. He's about halfway through, but judging by how long these laps take, that might actually, or sorry, how long these laps take, that might be enough. Speaking of enough, a beautiful exit through Beckett's is gonna give Dan the opportunity he was looking for. He is now on the hunt right as Tommy Boy goes in for his pit. So Tommy Boy is going to be on fresher tires, 30 minutes remaining. And Dave Bob is going to take that pass as his cue to follow him in. So we'll head on to Dan and see what this pit stop does for Tom, how much it costs him. I do think he put a decent gap in. He at least, I feel like he had to have worked on his position a little bit. Big wave going into the pits now. Actually, we got 5 racers in. So where does everybody come out? So Dan does make it out.
The tires was starting to get tricky.
Where is Tom? That's going to be, oh yeah, through.
Yeah, they are here too. Are you going for a one-stop?
And that's going to be Dave Bob exiting the pits.
I did. I missed mine too.
It's so hard.
And then Tommy Boy. So I don't know what happened in the pits there, unless Tommy Boy is thinking about going for a one-stop, and he full fueled and tires just there. So we've got Scent and FIFO. Got to give each other a little bit of space here, which they do as they leave the pits together.
You can have it, man. You're faster.
And it looks like we're going to get a nice little battle again here.
Yeah, I know. I forgot about that too. Let me draft you. Go, go, go.
And it sounds like we're finally getting some strategy together. So these guys are going to work together a little bit. We do see Woohoo and Seb in a 3-way battle with K West in the looking for final point slot of the overall today. That's going to be Woohoo Man though, locking it up through the first part of entry corner and into Wellington. Seb opting in for the draft. Is that going to be enough though? It's going to be close. Woohoo sees the move coming, is not able to move over in time, so that'll give Seb a chance. but he has to take a late break, which will give Woohoo a cleaner line through Brooklands.
Bit of verbal sandbagging.
And the Canadian man definitely feeling the pressure.
Tires in the pits.
Oh, hell yeah.
Ooh, a little bit of a lag spike there. I believe that was on my side, though, as it doesn't seem to cause any contact between the grid. Woohoo, though, looking for his spot back in P10. These guys do have a lot of space to go between the men up in front. They might consider working together a little bit more than trading spaces with 30 minutes still remaining. But we'll see what happens there. Do have news from the rookie race that Christian Crafton has unfortunately withdrawn from the event, leaving
Wait,
5
did you
men
just
on the
get drones
grid.
or some shit? I thought you missed your box.
They are getting closer and closer to the end of their battle. I think they are a full lap ahead of
Oh,
Didn't he just
your
go
leaders
into the
here.
pits?
You lied to me.
So Seb now kind of feeling a little bit more comfortable with his spot ahead of Woohoo.
That pit
We do
really
see
threw
the
both of us
grid
off
is
scent.
pretty spread out. Speedhack is not been lapped yet, but he is getting closer and closer to being traffic. 26 minutes and possibly a pit stop remaining, though, so we'll see how that plays out. I think Tommy Boy is thinking about the one-stop strategy, so I will be curious to see how that works in his favor. He made it into the pits before Dave Bob, but ended up taking a longer one. So the only thing I can think is either Dave Bob
You
didn't
start
go for
pulling out right and then you
tires,
like glitch
Yeah.
right in front of
or
me.
didn't go
It's
for
all good.
as much
I actually
fuel and
shifted
is
down.
expecting to do
Oh,
a
okay,
second
so it wasn't
one.
a glitch. You actually went down.
I double shifted by accident.
Woohoo and Seb, though,
Important thing is I didn't hit
not
you.
done fighting. Woohoo keeps trying to get a nose in, and he's getting closer and closer, but just can't close the move. Do you see Scent and FIFO? We'll post back just to see, but Scent starting to pull away from his fellow green, white, and red. Bounce back over to the battle between the 22 and the 43. Seb and Woohoo. A little bit of further discussion on strategies going on there. So I hear a 2-stop for the men up front. I think that was what we expected, though, seeing how early their first one
You
was.
kind of have to, unless your tank is just bigger.
You can just, it all depends on how you shift, how you coast. Can get a little bit of better mileage out of the car, but then again, you'll be getting a slower lap time. So
I committed to the 2-stop.
you have to find a way to stretch it without compromising too much, which is very hard to do. It looks like Dave Bob and Tommy Boy. Tommy Boy found his way past Dave Bob, so I think that's going to be a little bit of a spin in one of the final turns there, just with the amount of pace Tommy Boy has overtaking him. Still a strong P4, but the battle for podium is not done yet. You do see Jay lurking in the background with a 3.7 second gap between these two. If these guys get fighting again, you'll definitely expect to see him come join the action. 24 minutes remaining. Let's take a peek over at the other end of things. Actually, only 19 minutes remaining for the rookies. So they've got a full 5-minute head start on the action. So we'll try and peek in to that if we can. Chris C, though, now within half a second of Exeter, who has pit, but still maintains the lead.
If you're taking tires, it's a lot. It's like 20 seconds.
Yeah, I think my pit was 30 seconds almost with the tires.
Yeah, the pits definitely cost a
But then again, I
significant
missed my
amount
pit,
of time.
so that's probably another 2 seconds or so.
Suboptimal.
Yeah.
trying to keep our eyes around the grid, but really this is the main battle going on now. The battle between the 22 and the 43. Woohoo has been clinging on, but hasn't really made any strong attempts just yet. But we're going to use this stalemate as a chance to kind of look around the grid here. So Dan, the man marked from Brazil in the 24 car, is coming around club corner actually to finish out the 15th lap of the race and finish it out with quite a tremendous gap, as we'll stick over to the line and you see, oh yeah, his main competition still 9.6 seconds away. You see Jay looking for the undercut opportunity, so he's diving into the pits, 22 minutes left, so he might be able to make something happen. Tommy Boy now crossing the line in P3 and Dave Bob P4. You can see Jay just off to the side. We'll get a little bit of a glimpse towards where he'll come out. Patchy now makes his way past quite a few racers now. I think Sent's going to get the chance, and FIFO as well. Can Botlando even? So that's where it's going to get a little bit close. I think Botlando might actually have it in the bag as far as getting out in front. So Jay will have some work to do getting back in front of the pack. And Botlando makes it out with some speed. So Jay finds himself leaving now in P9, looking for the undercut opportunity, because we did see him go in with the leaders earlier, and now I'm assuming he's gone just about a lap before them this time around. Going back towards the grid, though, you see Sent now sitting in P6. He's got Patchy relatively in his sights. I'm sure he's catching glimpses of him, yep, on little curves like that. So he knows the mission, 7.5 seconds separating them. But every once in a while, he's catching a glimpse in his rears of that red, white, and green car of FIFO behind. So he knows that he can't lay off the pace, not only because he needs to catch the man in front, because someone is still looking to get their spot back from him. You see K West now going through his pit opportunity. So that's going to be a little interesting, because he's certainly going to come out, I was going to say after the leaders. Oh, but K West actually ends up pulling out from the race, unfortunately. And we do see your leader, Dan, is going to be the front runner to pit. So, oh yeah, is going to go for the overcut strategy.
So if this isn't our race, is this 3 times points?
I wish.
It's just 2 times points for the event today. So obviously, oh yeah, did get passed. Is Tommy Boy going to get passed? It's going to be a little bit close. Tommy Boy is, and by how much? That'll be the question. Because again, I think he might be trying the one-stop strategy. And you can tell because he's definitely not taking it too aggressive, I feel, on most of these corners. Oh, Wes, I'm sorry, brother. Yeah, that's always a pain in the ass, man. You can always rejoin if you want. It'll give you a fresh, but you'd have to redo your loadout or setup or whatever. Your loadout. Dave Bob currently sitting P3, 5 seconds separating him and Tommy Boy now. So Tommy Boy's steadily getting further and further away. And now the hunt is on. Dan once more behind him. So that bright yellow rooster going to be the only thing separating those two competitors. Oh yeah, also going for a little bit of a different strategy. He is going to have to pit at some point. I think he's trying to make the most out of his tires and end with as fresh a set as possible. We'll see if he gave himself enough fuel to stay out as long as he needs to for that. Taking a look at some other battles, Seb has locked up. It looks like P10 for the moment. Woohoo currently sitting 3.7 seconds off his pace. But we'll see how that works out. As those guys have been battling pretty closely, so I wouldn't be surprised if this one isn't over. Speaking of things
You're
that
right,
are
Dave.
not over, Chris C has finally passed through Exeter.
All right.
Looking to see. So Dave Bob is going to go into the pit with Oh Yeah. And we'll see if those guys are able to make something happen. I'm looking to see where Oh Yeah is in relation to Tommy Boy. So Tommy Boy does go by before his stop is over. How
Yep.
much of a gap is
Takes
he going to
forever.
really have?
I feel like
So
the air tires
11.4
got
seconds. That is all that separates him and Dan. If he's
Oh,
going
one
for a
turn,
pit
turn.
stop, that is not enough. So he's either got to push hard and find a little bit more time, or he's got to conserve fuel without losing too much pace. So going to be a fine line for Tommy to walk over the next 8 laps or so. See Dave Bob now dropping down to P7, maybe even P8 coming out of pits. Ooh, meant to click onto him there. It looks like, yes, Lando and Jay are actually both going to get ahead of the Roasted Rooster there, as he is currently sitting P9. Again, we do have to see who's still going to pit one last time. Get closer and closer to the end of the race. Exeter now over in the rookie class within half a second of the men in front. Marion C now 46 seconds behind, but he is on the freshest set of tires, so he will have taken his final pit stop and is hoping that he can close the gap on the men in front before they take theirs. Behind him, he's got Elvis only 6 seconds off his pace currently, and Brian a few laps down, but still pushing. That is tremendous resilience there, as he is got a long way to climb, but still a lot of time. You never know what could happen. Definitely digging deep. Lando, though, can feel the pressure and can smell the syrup in the air. Hear the goal horns. A bar down. Crosby shot as the Canadian man gets closer and closer behind. No worries, Wes. We all got those races. It all starts open week next week anyway, so I'm sure those will be a little more fun. Through Beckett's, Jay is starting to make his move. You can see that pace really starting to fly in following his qualifying laps at the I want to say he did make it into the 26s and mid to low 26s at that. Lando wasn't able to at the time, but can he do so now? Going to have to dig deep as he's sitting with a 27.9, Jay with a 26.6 as their current best times. Do see Patchy going for the pitting opportunity. We'll see where that puts him overall. Jay really trying now to stay out in front. Ooh, as Botlano goes a little bit wide, that's going to give Jay a little more acceleration and a nice clean line through farm curve, which he starts to take advantage of. Can he close the move? He's certainly trying. That 43 car is not going to make it easy. He's saying he's got to earn it, and earn it he will as Jay pulls through with just a little bit more speed. Keeps Lando at bay. His acceleration will be enough to make up for that draft. And that will be Patchy now, Jay on the hunt to, I was going to say on the hunt to FIFO ahead, but looks like Lando had other plans. He is not done yet. A late break opportunity there pulls him right back into the swing of things. He's going to be fresh on the bumper. You've got Dave Bob looking for an in on fresher tires behind both of them. So might have a through goes Hamilton moment coming up in the final 13 minutes here. You'd expect to see some of the last few pit stops if people are planning on them. So Tommy Boy might be trying to go all the way. It's a brave strategy, but he does need a win here. Well, not need, but it'd be good to have. Ooh, Dave Bob going with an interesting line around Botlando. Doesn't want to cut to the inside there and wants to protect that inner line into Maggots, which pays off as he stays ahead of Botlando going through Beckett's as well. So definitely a movie needed as they go into the hangar.
That's not
Dave
good.
Bob though, or sorry, Botlando though, going to be a little bit close. Ooh, Dan I think has a little bit of a slip up through the final turns, so that
Watch
puts
out,
him now
some wind picked up in the last
14.
corner.
So you hear a gust of wind must have blown him off the track, as the story we're going with here. FIFO now going into the pits. So that gives Tommy Boy now 15 seconds.
Oh wait, what the heck? Oh man, I changed tires twice. What the heck?
And so a unplanned second changing of the tires is going to put FIFO in a sticky
I thought we do the
situation.
1-2 pit stops, the pit setup 1 and 2.
It doesn't automatically switch.
Oh, well that sucks.
It's just presets, not the planned stops.
I thought they were planned stops. I've never done 2. Oh well.
So it looks like a little miscommunication in how the pit stops work there is going to cost him a little bit of time, but not too much. He's still within the hunt there. Tires really only add about an extra 5 seconds or so, so I think he would be with
24 laps. I'll be very mad.
Patchy and Seb Bellew. It's certainly getting close. They're within the point where I still think the 25 is possible, but so is 24. I know there's a lot of action going on around the grid, but right now these guys are duking it out. Botlando refusing to give in to Dave Bob. He's going to be fighting hard to still get that one back from the Roasted Rooster in front. That's going to be number 25, if I'm not mistaken. See the huge difference in lines through the corner there, or Cobb's corner. That is going to be enough, though, I think, to give Dave Bob the breathing room he was looking for and let him start to chase down Jay ahead in peace. Again, Dave Bob is on the fresher tires, but we have a bunch of guys who haven't pit, and it's unclear as to whether or not they plan to. Tommy Boy in a rare position here. He's going to be able to take it a little bit easier. He's got to try not to go too crazy. Oh, yeah, look at the way that he is taking these corners. He's trying not to go too hard on the throttle, taking them nice and slow. Easy accelerations out. So he is definitely trying to conserve his fuel and take it to the end. Dan definitely's got a pace to try and do something about it, as there is still 10 minutes remaining, possibly more with overtime, but it is unclear how much of an opportunity he'll still have. Speaking of battles, I do see Patchy still looking for a shot on Seb Bellew up in front in the Greg's number 4. For those of you who don't know, Hornsby and Hall is actually Patchy's virtual trucking company for Euro Truck Simulator, not American one. These are some of their own sponsors that they have over them, those servers there. I feel like speaking about his trucking company has given him some good luck as he moves almost a full half second closer to Seb Bellew since we tuned in here, and he's not even on a hot lap. So if he can get on the gas a little bit more in Sector 2, he might have a chance. Even your broadcaster is starting to get a little bit tired there. 3 minutes, 30 seconds remaining over in the rookie and amateur race. Chris C now still leading by within a second. So big battle going there. I think those guys seem to be trying to take it all the way to the end. Hopefully they got the fuel to do so. And then we do see X-Marin C about a full half a lap down from what I can tell here. So head-to-head going right up to the end between Chris C and Exeter over in the rookie and amateur battle. Looks like Patchy and Seb are trying to take a page out of that book over here. As we see neither one giving an inch. Sent actually looks pretty good. 2.3 seconds away from Oh Yeah in front, so he might have an opportunity. But Patchy now going for the move down the inside on the number 22. Seb's going to take a little bit of a later braking opportunity and try and pull a switchback through Stowe. Patchy goes a little bit wide through Vale, and that would have given him the opportunity. But Seb now is going to go in for his second pit stop. So looks like Seb, doing the math, not going to be able to finish out the race on the fuel he's got. And that will give Patchy P8 and I believe FIFO P9. It might reopen the battle though between Woohoo and Seb. So we'll see if maybe we get a little action there. At this point, we are hoping that Tommy Boy is not pitting because he certainly doesn't have the time to cover off Dan. He might have the time to cover off Oh Yeah if it's just a quick fuel stop. But that would only be for a P2. Seem a little silly at this point. You can tell though those tires are getting a little bit rough on him as he's losing 2 seconds now since we last checked in. He's certainly holding enough pace though. Only about a second off of Dan's pace behind him. So I don't know if Dan's going to be able to close that gap. Sent now still holding on to that 2.3 second gap we saw earlier. He did momentarily have 2.2 in his sights, so I think he's teetering on the edge of that delta. Could start to find some time as we enter the final few laps. Checking in with the man in front, though, he does go through with 5 minutes remaining. Very curious to know where he's at as far as fuel goes, but obviously we don't want to draw too much attention to anything, rattle his nerves. Dan now did actually just cross the line, so that is a pretty big gap between the two of them. Oh yeah, is going to be crossing not too far there, and Sent still sees him. Lost a little bit of time, about a half second in that last sector there. But 5 minutes remaining. He's really got to just focus on the task ahead. His personal best time is actually 0.3 faster than Oya's current. So if he can find a way to replicate that on these final few laps here and get the line together, he does still have a chance at a podium finish. You see Patchy in P8 did have a little bit of a glitch there. Chris C leaving the race. I'm not sure what I just saw over there. It seems Chris C and Exeter.
I overfilled a little bit, but that's just being cautious.
I'll put 33 in each time. way
Not
too much.
positive what happened there. It seems Christie exited the race on the final lap. I was not watching, so I'm not
5 at the
100%
end.
sure exactly why.
We don't know how many laps this is yet, though.
It's either going to be 24, 25, or 26. Probably 25.
But they are getting ready to wrap up the 23rd lap of the race, so it's definitely going to be 25 laps. I think 26 is going to be out of reach.
I think it's 25.
So the question is
Secretly
25
hoping for
laps
26 'cause I
enough?
have extra
Tommy Boy
tires.
definitely off the throttle now. As you can tell, he is now only 11 seconds separating him and Dan behind. We'll take a look over. As we watch
I think
Dan,
it could be 26.
10.5 seconds now separating them, 2 laps to go. So I think he is not losing 5 seconds a lap though. So that should be enough for Tommy Boy to hang on. Oh yeah, coming through in P3 currently with 4 seconds separating him and Sent. So it looks like as we head into the final 2 laps of the race, we might have this one relatively squared away. Hopefully the pressure of the final few turns doesn't get to anybody, as we see Botlando and Patchy actually getting close together. I wonder if Botlando heard my pleas and decided to give us a little bit of action as they head into their second to last lap. So Patchy definitely going to be thirsty to get back on this one. 0.4 seconds separating them as they head into the village. And Patchy makes a little bit more time through the loop. He's actually got a nose in here. He's going to try and make the move through entry. A little bit of a cut there. Hopefully he's got some to spare, as these cut warnings will not be revoked from today's race. Stays on the gas through Brooklands. That's going to give him the edge on Botlando. Botlando, though, is one known for not giving up.
Oh, fuck.
He is sticking right within the drafting range. If he can get a better exit, if he can get an better exit through Cobbs, he still stands a chance. And there's an entire other lap to go, so he just has to stick within that drafting distance. He's got to find a little bit more time right here on this turn, which he unfortunately does not seem to. Little bit at a time, a couple hundredths, but he needs to get closer, and it needs to be now. Patchy has a little bit of a struggle with maggots, which gives him a chance, and Botlando takes it. So this is going to give him the chance to get into the drafting range. He did have a better exit into the hangar. I don't think he should go for any move just yet. He's going to have one more lap to go after this. If he can just stick close, make Patchy make a mistake. Ooh, a late braking move is going to give him a chance into stow.
With a one stop.
And Patchy goes way wide into the runoff there. That'll cost him a little bit of acceleration into Bill.
For him.
No, 2 stops.
And wide again into Club Corner.
He's got 10 seconds. Unless he runs out of fuel, he wins.
Ooh, and Botlando giving him the bump draft. So he says, let's get going. Let's have one more quick lap here. I'm not taking you on the straight. They're looking side by side, or looking pretty good bumper to bumper through Abbey and Farm Curve. Who is going to make the most of it, though? Ooh, Botlando with a nice move into Village. Thinks about it. But isn't able to make anything happen. Through the loop, he's getting closer and closer. He'll at least have the draft into the Wellington. Will it be enough of a draft? This is a short track. Ooh, it looks like Sent has a little bit of a spin out there, and that gives Jay the opportunity to get in front. Those guys are going to be having a battle of their own now, only half a second separating them.
I went off a little bit.
as they head towards Cobbs on their end. I do see Jay's got the pace though. He's moving past.
What do you guys
So
want?
Jay is heading past Scent now, so I think Scent's going to be just working on his fuel conservation and trying to make it all the way around. In the meantime, though, Botlando hasn't given up. 2 tenths separating him and Patchy. This battle is going right up to the end, going a little bit wide through Cobbs, but that's not going to be too much of an issue. As we saw, he had a significantly better line through
Well,
the
they
S's
make it.
here. So a fair one through Maggots.
Yeah. I'm at
Just fucking ran out. I just ran out.
It looks
Oh,
like Tommy
no.
Boy runs out as he crosses the line. Only 3 seconds end up separating him and Dan behind. It was one hell of a gamble.
Those tiny little spins that cost me like 5
That
seconds.
one, yeah, that
Would've
one
had him.
spin is what
Good
cost him the
race,
race, it seems like,
Thanks,
as Tommy wouldn't have had the fuel to defend.
Yeah, I think he had the same spin at the end.
Botlando has a little bit of a struggle with the S's. Patchy goes wide
Yeah, my
into
fuel
Vale, which
should
will
have
cost
had
him a
better
little
pace.
acceleration, but I don't think it'll be enough. Dave Bob not going to be able to find a way.
It looked like
Scent,
Tommy
it
was
seems, is
just
going to
moving
roll
his
across
speed.
the
I was
line.
lifting and
He does
pushing
finish,
so
but that'll
fucking
give
bad
Scent
for the
the
last 4
opportunity to pass him. I think Patchy did do a 2-stop, so he won't have to worry about the fuel side of things. He does cross with a brilliant battle between him and Botlando. FIFO nearly able to take advantage
I
of
made it one
that,
stop, yeah.
as
Right at
we
the
see
final
a little
corner, I
gap
ran
here
out of
between
fuel.
him
I ran
and
out like
Seb
5 feet before the
Bellew
line.
behind.
What was your last lap time, Sand?
241.
But he makes it
2:34.
across the
About it,
line.
I had
Around
to
by
fuel so I had to like
Yeah,
save so
grab onto a camera here so
Can
we
you
can
please
take a
stop
view.
this?
We'll head in with Woohoo Man,
Did you enjoy it?
heading through Stowe with a
Man,
little
I
bit
could've-
of speed.
I think I could have at least got fit. That's what sucks.
I stopped pushing for fastest lap as soon as I realized I
If I
didn't stop.
realized a lap before, I think I would have got.
We're hearing some of that post-race discussion there, but we are going to let these guys finish up.
I
Woohoo
was
Man
using my
coming
fuel to
around.
calculate the
Looks
amount
like
of
he
laps.
might be fueled. Oh no, he did do a double stop, so he is wiggling his way
were
across the
yelling at
line. And our final racer across
would
the
be yelling
line
at
of
my
season
if I had
4,
one.
Speed Hack in the number 24, on his way to join the dog pile, as is tradition.
That's what sucks.
Let's see if he ends us off with a strong one. A rather polite man, as he
Definitely
sends
don't
it
recommend the Ferrari
into
strategy.
the wall. Ladies and gentlemen, that is going
That's
to
not the
be
Ferrari strategy,
season
that's the
4.
Aston strategy.
The end.
The one where you don't have fuel left at the end for.
We'll get the
How many
results
what?
posted for everybody watching in the Discord. And
10? I think it was